Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you may be. In this video, we're going to be putting together the Flame Organ's trailer. Well, beginning it by building the base model with the wheels and the structure. Right now, I'm making the frame and making sure it's straight.
Do excuse the water that is all over the floor. Yeah, there was a bit of a thunderstorm last night and I forgot to clean out the gutters, and this has resulted in quite the splash. But it's fine, we're going to be doing welding today, which is probably the best thing to do in a wet environment, especially when it's TIG. That's right, there's a TIG welder right here, an Artec TIG 171. Artec were really kind enough to actually send this to give a go. I told them I'd never done TIG before. They kindly offered to do a quick kind of starter course at theirs. It's on the other side of the country and I'm running out of time to build this trailer, so I said, you know what, how hard can it be? Let's figure it out myself with some YouTube videos. To which they responded, okie dokie. And yeah, they sent it over. It's amazing, a TIG welder. How cool is this? And yeah, I literally turned it on. I set in all the parameters to be able to TIG weld this thing right here, which is the trailer. I've got sidetracked. So yeah, we're making the Flamethrowing Organ Tractor's trailer today. We're making it out of box section, which, to be honest, using a MIG welder, which is what I usually use, would be a lot better for this project. It would be a lot quicker. Zip, zip, zip. The temptation is humongous, but I need to learn how to do TIG welding. I've literally done about an hour worth of TIG welding. In fact, I'll show you my awful TIG welding. I've just been TIG welding the offcuts. I got myself a machine gun. So yeah, you can see I started out by blowing holes. Absolutely awful. I was going around and yeah, I got to about this, about half an hour in, 45 minutes in, and I just kept on going. So I'm hoping, basically the plan is the welds on this frame are going to look ugly, but it's okay because I need to grind them down anyway to be able to put them flush with the other bits of metal. So as long as they're functional, strong welds, which not all of these are, but some of them are, then I think we'll be all right. I'll just grind them down. So this is one of those videos where welding aficionados are going to absolutely love, because they're going to comment everything, and that's fine because I'm learning. And yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. So are you ready to cringe at how wrong I'm going to get TIG welding? Let's begin.
By the way, that audible tone is not because it's on AC, it's because it's on pulse mode, because that's what it was when I turned it on, and so I just left it on because it sounded fun.
So that's the outside frame of the trailer done. Those last few welds are a little bit better. They're still not great. Bear in mind, this is now an hour and a half of TIG welding I have done. Yeah, it's very warm, but I've got to wear the long sleeve because I don't want to look like one of those teddy bear bits of ham now. That wouldn't be very good. It would be pretty bad. And yeah, so I'm going to lift it up now and work out what to do now. Now we need to work out how to attach the back wheels, these bad boys, the massive ones, using these suspension trailer attachments. They're nice and easy, so these plug straight into those things. So we need to work out how to bolt these onto here, give enough space for the suspension, which I'm assuming is that, which is, I don't know, that's easily 6 inches, isn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna try and figure that out now. I'm gonna go with 33, screw it, 33 from the middle of the wheel to the bottom of the trailer. So what I'm gonna do with this information, I don't actually know. I don't know what I'm doing with this information. What am I doing with this information? What am I doing? So the center of it is gonna be about here, which is about 30 centimeters. Yeah, we're going to go 30 centimeters. I'm basically going to have to start by adding a couple of bits of box section and go along like that.
To be honest, this project is certainly not for TIG welding. TIG welding's the fine cuisine of welding, for the fine details. This was like big chunks of steel with massive gaps, but I did it anyway and persisted just to kind of get a feel for it.
It's a new day and it is still blooming hot, to the point that I was actually pondering last night whether I'm just going to stop and just go and do another project that's cooler and then get back to this. But then I really don't have the time. This needs to be done in about 3 weeks and I've got earplugs in. I still can't hear. I need to get some slightly longer gloves, that's for sure, because I can see this bit, but I think the angle means that it's covered anyway, but it's not bad. So yeah, bit of a lesson there. This morning I quickly shot a quick short of just kind of like concluding the TIG welding for now, because I think this is a really difficult project with the gaps in it, in the box section for the TIG welding. So I'm just going to jump straight over to MIG and blast through the rest of it for now. So hopefully next week, I think I'm making a manifold for an exhaust. So that'll be a TIG welding job. But this one, I'm going to jump back on. So the next thing we need to do is bolt
I got out my ropey MIG welder and just went to town on it. I figured nobody is going to see these welds. Most of them are going to be grinded down to pop other bits of metal on it. So let's just make it quicker by just zapping it together in this blooming heat wave, which was sizzling. Anyway, we're putting a bit of steel plate on there so we can pop the wheels on. I pre-sprayed this so we could just go straight to popping the trailer suspension axles over there. I then jumped over to the front of the trailer and started putting some more box section in to be able to start working on the turntable for the steering at the front of this dolly trailer. Remember, it's a four-wheel trailer, and some people love saying that these things are impossible to reverse. They're not impossible. With a bit of practice, after about 5 minutes, you got the gist. As long as you don't need to reverse back down a country road for about a mile, it's fine. So yeah, we're going to be focusing on the steering. So I'll pop a bit of 20mm inner diameter tubing in there, and that is going to be important for the hinging later on. But first, we're going to cover this with a big steel plate that is going to act as a greasy turntable that is going to work with the lower subframe with the wheels on it.
Good morning, it is a new day. I cannot remember what day it is. I've written it right here. It's all merged together, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, looking behind, I didn't get as far as I've wanted at this point, but at least I'm not going backwards, right? I got in this morning and looked around and realised that I've ran out of box section. I was going to turn this over and start working on the top assemblies. That's the bit that goes up there and the bit that goes up at the back. But yeah, running out of the metal means that that's not going to be so easy. So today, because I can use slightly larger box section for this bit, we're going to make the front subframe assembly to make the front wheels be able to steer. Sounds like a plan. First thing we're going to do is actually bolt the suspension axle thingamajiggies onto the back
for these generic suspension trailer axle thingamajiggies that are rated at 350 kilograms, and then jump over to the front turntable and drill a big 20mm hole bang in the middle so we can fit a nice big M20 bolt in there. Lovely jubbly. Now we're going to start making the front subframe. So I used a larger bit of box section for this because I had it around, so I started building it with that, and we're going to put another plate on that so we're able to marry those two bits of plates together with a fair bit of grease. We're going to be able to make this a rather ropey turning device. It's the same design as a lot of tractor trailers, and if it works for the farm, it works for me. Anyway, let's give it a bit of a polishing and drill a hole through that side, pop in a bit more strengthening tubing as straight as you possibly can, weld it in, and then grind it nice and flush so it kind of fits, making sure you still got a fair bit of weld in there to keep the strength, and then boom. Now we're going to give it a grease nipple so we can grease it in the future, because I'm going to pop some grease between these two, but we're going to need some more grease at some point, so a grease nipple will go a long way. Nipples always go a long way. Anyway, now we've chocked in that M20 bolt, and after that is we're going to plop that in and see if this thing, an idea, has actually worked. And you know what? It's actually not that bad. With a bit of a nylock bolt to keep the tension in there, keeping it very nice and tight, those things are so flat that it is moving so smoothly. What a beautiful idea. Oh, lovely, jubbly. Anyway, now we're going to finish off the subframe with a bit more box section to be able to offset it so we can actually bottle in the trailer hitches. But first, let's test it. Smooth as a baby's bum. Then we weld some more steel on the front so we can plop the wheels on. Lovely.
Oh, blooming heck, it is the start of day, I want to say 5. It's getting a bit long in the tooth now, I've got to be honest. The temperature's not making it easy at all. Oh, that's a bit squidgy. So yeah, I'm sitting on the front turntable, the front axle or subframe. It's done. I've welded on these plates and drilled some holes to be able to mount the trailer kind of suspension bits. I think this is going to work quite well. It's a very simple and agricultural design. I may add a bronze-like spacer between it, but I don't know yet. I mean, it takes the weight, it takes the pressure, and it still turns. It's very similar to the design on dollies, of agricultural dollies, so yeah. Anyway, next up, and then really annoying problem. There's been a lot of problems, but the latest problem, I made sure to buy wheels that had the same bolt pattern as the hubs. But the issue is the wheels are really deep, so they don't actually fit on the hubs. And to rub salt in the wound, the hole in the middle of them is too small to fit on the hubs as well. I only found this out yesterday and it's so annoying. I tried twisting it around and see if I can mount it front ways, so we have to pump it backwards. Just wasn't working. So annoyingly, we need to modify it all. I've managed to do one, and that is over here. So we have one successfully on. Yes, and it is bright orange. I've decided to spray them to match the, that's interesting. It doesn't look like it's spinning. Oh, it does as it's slowing down. I've sprayed it to match the lawnmower. So it's going to be cool. And now I think I'm going to paint this black, and then it's going to be cladded in aluminium. But that'll be in another video because of supply problems. I'm waiting for more metal to actually make the front of it. I might not get that done by the end of the blooming video either. Anyway, what we're talking about. Right, so yeah, I'm going to show you how I got to that point on all the other corners. And hopefully that'll bring us to lunchtime. Fingers crossed we'll get it done. A couple of hours, let's go.
First, let's knock out those dainty little wheel studs and pop in some beefy, chunkier ones. But in order to get those in there, we need to drill out the holes to an M12 size and then smash the living daylights out of the back of them so we can actually get the old studs, the new studs, sorry, in. Yes, lovely. And then after a fair bit of time, that took quite a while to get all of those done. We've got them all in, and then we're now needed to work out how to actually drill the middle of the wheels out. This was a nightmare to figure out a way of getting it in there because they're so weird and deep. I didn't want to take the tires off, and I wanted it to be as centralized as possible. I found the easiest way of doing this was shoving it on the milling machine, deflating the tires, squeezing it in there, and figuring out. I tried boring, I tried all of that stuff, and we worked out the easiest way was using this hole saw. It was the only thing that would literally fit in there. So yeah, after doing that to all four of them and giving it a good old spray in the good old Westwood orange, what a beauty, we were ready to rumble. So yeah, oh yeah, I also needed to put a few wheel spacers on there. Oh Sam, that's bad for the bearings. I don't care, it's a blooming trailer for an organ. Who gives a monkeys? Anyway, let's pretend to be a Formula 1 driver. Whenever you do that, why do you always have to push the wheels? Every time. If you see in this video, I twist every single wheel, I have to tighten them up. Anyway, we're going to jump over to the front plates that are going to hold the front trailer hitch. So I drew them on a bit of offcut 4mm steel. I drilled some big, nice chunky holes in there and then plopped it onto the front subframe in a random fashion and started welding it and then getting it as straight as possible. I plop in through some M20 threaded rod. That is massive threaded rod. It's awesome. Popping on the other side once I have found out they're all straight, and then slowly, bit by bit, adding the rest of them, making sure it's all nice and lined up, using that threaded rod that we're going to chop up and use later on to actually bolt it in. Anyway.
Right, the next thing that we need to make, and it's one of the last bits, yes, because this has been horrid in this heat, is making the front kind of like trailer hitch. Do you reckon it's a hitch? I don't know. It's coming in two parts, this, and we have to play with a few bits of geometry. The shorter this is from this part to the tractor, the easier it is to maneuver. Like, people overstate how difficult these things are to reverse. They're not that bad, but they are a little bit of a faff to do it. But yeah, so it's going to be in two parts. There's a triangle part that connects these two to the middle, and then there's a long bit at the end. Not only does it need to be short, it needs to be long enough to be able to clear the trailer and the tractor in its maximum turn bit. So like, if we turn this to around here, and then we make a measurement of that. So we need the triangle bit to be about that, so we can clear the maximum corner. And then we need the long bit at the end of that to be pretty much the width of the tractor. So about, I don't know, it's going to be about that long. So we've got this. Oh, let's do this. Oh, let's get a tape measure. I'm going to go with 40 centimeters. I'm going to make the triangle bit 40 centimeters. It's going to be quite a boop. So let's make that first.
I got a flat bit of box section this time and did it all by eye. I figured out a rough angle and then sharpened it in and grinded that off and just saw if this was actually going to work. It took a couple of cuts to get it right, but after was happy with that. I used the trailer because it actually is the straightest thing I've got in the whole workshop to make it nice and flat. And then I welded these bits of offset because I realized the angle was too tight to be able to actually work without it having a bit of clearance there. And after welding that in, I just kind of laid it up onto the subframe and basically welded it onto a couple more of that kind of tubing that was over the threaded rod, so it's got a bit of articulation. After that, I got to give it a bit of a test, and it was really nice and smooth. I'm really happy with how that front steering is working out. Anyway, I chopped a little bit of a groove out of a larger bit of box section to be able to make the straight bit that goes to the lawnmower's hitch, and that kind of basically sits on top of that bit. I gave it a bit of a smash, making it as straight as I possibly could, and then welded it in and used a bit of off-cut metal here and there to be able to make up that random extra bit of gaps in there so there isn't any gaps in all of the weld. And then after that, that's all of the welding for today, and I've made it through the heat wave. Phew! Oh yeah, and then we add the hitch. The lawnmower's got a normal trailer-sized hitch, so I just got a standard trailer hitch off eBay and then bolted that onto the end of it. And yeah, that's the base model of the trailer. Pretty much done. Oh, got to put it in the wheels. Don't forget about the wheels. So yeah, doing the old Formula 1 impression again. Plopping the nice orange wheels in, giving them a spin.
Oh yes, it is ready to flip it over. I didn't think I was going to get to this point, but I have, because yeah, what a testing few days this has been. There we go. Really. Oh yeah, it's tall. It's very tall. Taller than I was actually. Whoa, very bouncy. This is a very good trailer. Ooh, I've done all right. I think I've done all right. Oh, look at that. It doesn't wonky, but I think that's how wonky my floor is. Oh, that's so cool. It's huge. It's really awesome as well. That is really good. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm really pleased with this trailer. It's not done. There's a fair bit more welding to do, but it's fine. I've just got supply issues. To be honest, I haven't been able to get very far with this thing because of postage and things, but I still think I'm on track. I've just got to kind of prioritise what I've got available and what jobs to get done. For instance, I've started here. I've got the I've been brazing the manifolds today. Brazing the manifolds. So yeah, but to be honest, there's not that much. I think there's another day on the trailer. I'm trying not to say these kind of things because it'll always be a little overrun. For instance, there's a bit on the front, as per the drawing, remember that drawing over there? There's a bit on the front, that's the control panel, boop, boop, and that's where the propane's held, and there's, you know, emergency malarkey, buttons and all that stuff. And then there's like then from the control panel, which will be about this high, there's a cage that goes over to the back, and that holds all of the pipes. And then there's this bit underneath around here that holds the electronics. And then the battery sits back here, radiator around here, down here, and yeah. Ooh! So yeah, but this is the kind of like, this is like making a base model for a trailer that is, you know, expandable and buildable to whatever you require. So yeah, trailer. I've spent most of this week completely covered in crap. It was an awfully warm time to be doing this kind of stuff. I kept on making mistakes because of the heat. I was flustered. I got plasters all over my fingers. Oh, it wasn't fun, but it's over now. But I just kind of went into autopilot mode and got on with it, and here we go. Yeah, so I'm doing videos still. So the next one, I'm hoping to have the rest of the trailer done, the manifold in, and the electronics started. And if you want to see all of that stuff before and a bit more of the thinking of the process of it, then go and check it out on Patreon, because I'm doing still regular updates nearly every day over there about problems, trials, tribulations, all of that stuff. Getting a bit more in depth about it all. But yeah, and also if you want to support it, because Patreon's paying for this malarkey, it's a blooming flame organ on a trailer. I am so excited to get this thing done. It's going to be very fun. And yeah, if you want to see it, whether it's done or not, and whether it's you know, certified, then come and check it out in about 3 weeks over at EMF Fest. I think it's 3 weeks, or is it 2 weeks? Oh my god, it might be 2 weeks. I've got a lot of work to do. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. So, Ludo.